Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Derek White is an excellent player and all great players are of interest to the Lakers. The only way to get him from the Boston Celtics is to trade for Austin Reaves, but is it worth giving up Reaves for Derek White? Yes, it is worth it, because Derek White is experienced, solid in tough playoff games, has great defense and is very versatile, and he would fit in perfectly with the Lakers. The Lakers are interested in Derek White and could trade him for the fan favorite, Austin Reaves. White is one of those players that are hard to find. He can shoot the ball, play point guard and play defense. White has great defense. It's tough to give up Austin Reaves, but this trade will be worth a lot to the Lakers. Perfect combination with Luka, besides being in his prime. The Boston Celtics are poised to make significant changes this offseason, and Derek White could be one of those players on the way out. White would be a sought-after player if the Celtics were to make him available for trade. White averaged 16.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 0.9 steals and 1.1 blocks per game for the Celtics in the 2024-25 season. Reaves, meanwhile, averaged 20.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 1.1 steals and 0.3 blocks per game for the Lakers. The raw numbers are better for Reaves, but White is simply a much better defender. He was a two-time All-Defensive Second-Team selection, 2023 and 2024, and would be a great fit alongside Luka Doncic and LeBron James. White would elevate the Lakers, but then again, that would be the case for most teams. He would be a great fit for any team, and the Warriors are reportedly eyeing him as well. Los Angeles Lakers guard Austin Reaves, 15, drives to the basket against the Minnesota Timberwolves during the first half of Game 5 of the first round of the 2025 NBA playoffs at Crypto.com Arena. Another deal that, if it happens, could help the Lakers is bringing in a big man. The Lakers' lack of size cost them dearly against the Timberwolves in the 2025 NBA playoffs. J.J. Redick's men gave up 50.0 points in the paint through 5 games, including 13.0 offensive rebounds per contest. The franchise is expected to aggressively pursue defensive-minded bigs in the 2025 offseason through both free agency and trades. One such big man who could land on the Lakers is Celtics star Kristaps Porzingis. According to NBA insider Mark Stein, most rival teams view Porzingis as the most movable Boston vet due to his expiring $30.7 million contract. In light of those reports, Fadeaway World floated a potential Lakers trade that would see Porzingis move to Los Angeles and Rui Hachimura to Boston. Lakers would receive Kristaps Porzingis. Celtics would receive Rui Hachimura, Maxi Kleber, a 2030 first-round pick swap, and a 2032 first-round pick swap. Underscore 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 underscore. The only way Lakers trade Reaves? The writer argued that Porzingis, with his shot blocking and rim running ability, would be the perfect center to play alongside Luka Doncic. His ability to stretch the floor while protecting the rim would be a massive upgrade over the current Lakers starter, Jackson Hayes, especially as Los Angeles searches for frontcourt help after trading Anthony Davis to Dallas in the blockbuster Luka Doncic deal, he wrote. The hypothetical deal would mean the Lakers retain their big three of LeBron James, Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves, who combined to average 72.8 points per game in 2024-25. According to Los Angeles Times' Dan Woik, the Lakers still value Reaves, despite his poor performance in the playoffs, and would trade him under only one condition. Reaves is not viewed as untradeable because almost no one in the NBA is untradeable, Woik wrote in his newsletter on May 15. But if the Lakers are going to trade him for a center, they're going to want one that is foundationally important, a build-around type and not a fill-in toward the obvious need they have at center, and will need to address in other ways. underscore 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 underscore. Porzingis to play Eurobasket. If one of the best centers in the NBA were available, the conversations might be different, but at least now, during the first part of the offseason, that just isn't the case. With the Celtics looking to shed some salary ahead of the 2025-26 season, to presumably get under the luxury tax second apron, the likes of Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Derek White could all be made available, via multiple insiders. However, some have expressed concerns over Porzingis' health after he missed many games in both the regular season and playoffs due to illness. Still, he is expected to play for Latvia in the Eurobasket tournament in August, a good sign for teams targeting him via trades. Despite experiencing problems with breathing, something head coach Joe Mazzulla mentioned after Game 5 of the series against the Knicks, Porzingis is still expected to be ready and cleared to play at Eurobasket, which will be held in his home country of Latvia, read a report from Eurohoops. Kristaps Porzingis averaged 19.5 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks for the Celtics from 42 regular season games. He managed only 7.7 points in 7 playoff games. Can Dalton Knecht improve on defense for next season? Dalton Knecht lost his place in the rotation due to his defense, but he showed enough athletic tools to be optimistic about his potential. As the NBA released its all-rookie teams for this season, Lakers rookie Dalton Knecht was nowhere to be found. Knecht, in bursts throughout the season, displayed the offensive potential he was drafted for, an athletic scorer and shooter who can get hot from the outside, but lost minutes because of his defense, a place where he will need significant improvements next season. In 78 games, Knecht averaged 9.1 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 37.6% on three-pointers. He experienced the highest of highs, with a 37-point performance in a win against the Utah Jazz at home and earned multiple starts early in the year. At the same time, it was followed by some of the lowest of lows, including a massive shooting slump in December where he shot 15% from downtown. He was eventually traded to Charlotte near the deadline, but the deal was later rescinded. In a competitive Western Conference, the battle for playoff seeding intensified down the stretch. As the significance of each game increased, Knecht's minutes declined. By the playoffs, he was entirely out of head coach J.J. Redick's rotation. Listed at 6 feet 6 inches with a 6 feet 9 inches wingspan, Knecht has good size and athletic tools. He showcased these measurables on the defensive end in limited spots, particularly in flying in for defensive rebounds and timely blocks. Notice in the clip below as he gets beat off the bounce by Tyler Herro, but recovers to block the shot off the backboard. North-south speed was never the issue. He leveraged these tools effectively in running for easy baskets on offense. According to the NBA's tracking data, Knecht scored 1.23 points per possession in transition, putting him in the 72nd percentile league-wide. Defensively, issues arose initially from his lateral quickness and strength as he was consistently hunted in the half-court. His defensive stance was too upright, putting him off balance with even the slightest shift of an offensive player. Defensively, issues arose initially from his lateral quickness and strength as he was consistently hunted in the half-court. His defensive stance was too upright, putting him off balance with even the slightest shift of an offensive player. Against the Pelicans, watch below where he's unable to react in time to a ball screen. He jumps to recover but is out of position, giving Brandon Boston an easy driving lane to the basket. As with many offensive-first players who come into the league, the defensive technique was poor. This is demonstrated again late in a game against Jamal Murray. Murray hit Knecht with one crossover and completely removed him from the play altogether, a common theme throughout the season as Knecht's feet looked glued to the ground during certain defensive isolations. According to the NBA's tracking data, Knecht surrendered 1.04 points per possession in isolation, placing him in the 25th percentile league-wide and 4th worst on the team. Another area of improvement, like most rookies, is strength. Players often went right through him on their way to the basket. Watch below as Christian Braun catches the ball on the wing and drives directly to the rim unimpeded. Mixed with all these issues are the needed improvements in basketball IQ and focus. Young players are known to ball watch, and Connect certainly was not immune. Watch below as he stands in no man's land, neither in a real position to help nor recover to his man, conceding a wide-open corner three. All of these defensive issues can be fixed, but they do require necessary attention. These playoffs are showing that having multiple below-average defenders who can be hunted isn't feasible for a successful rotation. Being a flamethrower will always keep you in the league, but being allowed to show it will be dictated by whether you can survive on defense. Connect will need to show significant improvements on that end and should have the athletic tools to do it. Anthony Davis turns heads after being spotted at Lakers facility on Wednesday. While the NBA playoffs have narrowed down to the final four teams competing in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, two notable franchises that are already in off-season mode are the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Lakers. That early start to the offseason has brought some notable developments, particularly for the Mavericks, who landed a major win by securing the top pick in the NBA draft lottery. That bit of fortune may have subtly played into an interesting moment on Wednesday at the Lakers training facility, which hosted the Clutch Sports Pro Day. The event featured several top prospects, including Common Maluak, Walter Clayton Jr., and Hanson Young, and drew a number of NBA executives, including Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison. But what really turned heads was the appearance of Anthony Davis, who happened to be in the building for the Pro Day as well, sporting a Dallas Mavericks hat. This appearance comes just a few months after Davis was unexpectedly traded from the Lakers to the Mavericks, making his presence and attire especially noteworthy. Fans reacted to Davis attending the draft event in Los Angeles. "Bring my guy back," a fan said. Someone else added, "Weird seeing AD in Mavs gear out in LA." Another fan posted, "I miss you." One more fan commented, "AD get a haircut?" Anthony Davis joined the Lakers organization in a blockbuster trade during the summer of 2019 and spent roughly 6 seasons with the franchise, playing a pivotal role in helping them capture the 2020 NBA championship. However, in a surprising move, Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka seized the opportunity to trade for Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic. To make the deal happen, Davis had to be included, something he reportedly wasn't aware of until just moments before the trade was announced. Despite the unexpected departure, Davis now finds himself in a strong position in Dallas alongside Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson. With the Mavericks expected to select Duke standout Cooper Flagg with the number 1 overall pick in next month's NBA draft, the roster is poised to become even more formidable. Luka Doncic changing a lot about himself this offseason. The acquisition of Luka Doncic has completely changed the trajectory of the Los Angeles Lakers both in the short and long term. The guard is clearly one of the best players in the NBA today, and the entire basketball world was truly shocked that the Dallas Mavericks would even deal him away. In the aftermath of the deal, questions about Luka's conditioning came out from the Mavericks side, as that seemed to be the main reason why the franchise was ready to move on. And while that seemed blasphemous considering the amount of minutes he had played while leading them to the NBA Finals in 2024, it was regularly a discussion point. Now in his first offseason with the Lakers, it sounds as if Doncic is committed to improving himself in every way, and that includes his conditioning as well. Jason Gallagher, producer of the Mind the Game podcast with LeBron James and Steve Nash and noted Mavericks fan, recently appeared on The Dumb Zone and said that he has heard from multiple people that Luka is cleaning slate and changing a lot about himself this summer. "I have heard from folks that are pretty honest about the conditioning stuff or whatever, that Luka has already begun to clean slate, starting anew. He is already in this mindset of changing a lot about himself." Now, I've heard it before. But not from specific people that have been critical of him. There are a lot of ways this can be taken, but it makes sense that Doncic, now in a new city and beginning a new era of his career, is focused on changing things that he feels needs to be changed. There is no denying his desire to have the greatest success and win a championship with the Lakers, and this offseason is the perfect opportunity for him to turn over a new leaf. Whether it is conditioning, diet, certain on-court skills or anything else, Doncic is apparently ready to take some steps and will come in even better next season once training camp begins. Lakers' Austin Reeves emphasizes need to grow together alongside Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Of course it takes an entire team to win a championship, and for the Lakers, everything is built around the trio of Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James. They really didn't have too much time to build that chemistry together, and Reeves feels that the trio continuing to grow together is extremely important. Just continuing to grow together, he said. Obviously they're unbelievable basketball players, and the more time we spend, not with just them, but the whole unit, you're just gonna become more cohesive, more together, know exactly what you're gonna do every possession when things get tough, you're rolling with how you want to play the game. I thought we did a really good job of that in the regular season, and we just didn't play good enough in this series.